Good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host of Nature Watch, the man who went to Kansas City and let me down again by not bringing me back barbecue.
It was good.
Yeah, whatever. It's Gary Miller. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Oh yeah, I was complaining to your boss.
Yeah, I actually live streamed last Saturday, and I heard you complaining to him.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought about bringing you something back, but I figured by the time we get here to Saturday, it would not be good, and it probably would have been eaten by my kids in the house.
Did you not hear me to put it in a cooler, lock that sucker up, and keep it locked, padlocked?
We only had one cooler with us, and had to have some other things in there.
Okay,
one of these times, next time.
Okay, next year if you go and we're all sitting right here, I'll give you a cooler and a padlock. Well, I'm sorry, since Dickie's went away up here, and it's hard to find a good barbecue spot, and the ones that do, there's Bombas on the other side of town. They're good, but getting to the other side of town is the fun
It's still not Kansas City barbecue.
It's not Kansas City barbecue.
Not Kansas City barbecue. Yeah. So
okay. Anyway, welcome back.
Yeah, back to some more heat this last week, and actually yesterday got quite humid.
Well, you remember, since you live streamed last week, I was saying, we're going to get wet. We're going to get wet.
Yeah.
Guess what didn't happen? We didn't get wet.
So we had a whopping, and my wife was being very generous because she went out and looked at the rain gauge earlier this week after and this is a quote-unquote, we had some rain. She was being very generous and calling it 500ths, half a tenth. She said it was probably nearer the 3 or 4, but I was being generous and calling it 5. That's like a heavy dew at the best.
Is this the beginning of the strong El Nino? Because they do say we're going to be drier.
Could very well be because 2 weeks ago I was here live, and 2 weeks has made a huge difference in the drought conditions. Here in the state of Michigan, we went from 10.1% of the state 2 weeks ago to 33.53% of the state. And there's a big swath across the lower peninsula, including the northeast half of Kalamazoo County. So if you basically draw a line from the northwest corner to the southeast corner, and everything to the northeast of that is in a drought condition. So Kalamazoo County is actually at 46.77% abnormally dry. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'm going to guess probably almost the whole entire county is that, but they just haven't adjusted their computer models quite enough yet. They can't check everywhere, but we are very dry.
Yes,
and
we are.
This next week looks like we might have a chance multiple times of scattered showers.
It'll just evaporate on the way down.
Or it'll fall apart before it even reaches here. I keep telling my coworkers I'll believe it when I see it. But it's going to bring clouds, and that's actually going to make it a little difficult to see the Perside meteor showers this week because the peak is the morning of the 11th, 12th, overnight the 11th of the 12th. And it looks like about in the next week plus, the only night you're going to have clear skies is tonight.
No.
So tonight you can do an all-nighter because there's actually some neat things going on today. Kalamazoo Nature Center actually has a prairie power guided hike. That's from 2 to 3 today. There's no pre-registration. That's included with your admission. And they're going to do an hour-long hike around the prairie. Make sure you have all good walking shoes on. Make sure you have some sunscreen on because it's going to start clearing up by then.
Right.
And then tonight from 9 to 12, so 9 p.m. to midnight, the Kalamazoo Astronomical Society is doing another public observing session. So you can go out and see all the stars. We're going to be talking about super summer star clusters. And then you can go back home, get your comfortable chair, a supply of beverages, probably put some mosquito repellent on because it's going to be pretty warm. Get that comfortable chair you can lean back in or a nice comfy blanket you can lay on the ground. And about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning is when the peak of the meteor shower you see should be able to see most of them. We're not quite to the peak night, but there should be quite a few of them tonight. And looking at the forecast, this might be the only chance this year to see them.
And don't we have a partial solar eclipse coming
And
through?
we have a partial solar eclipse on the 12th. That was the next thing I have here. And you'll have to imagine it because we're only about between 10 and 20% eclipse here. And actually, we're here in Kalamazoo, I think we're even talking even less than that.
Yeah.
But you have to imagine it, I think, because it looks like we're going to be pretty cloudy. Maybe we'll have some little breaks in the clouds on the 12th, but it looks like we're going to be cloudy, according to all the forecasts I looked at.
So we'll just miss it. It's Michigan. We miss everything.
Again.
Oh, wow.
So you might want to, if you have a chance and you can have that time to do it, to get some quick tickets to go over to Europe and maybe Spain or something, and you can see the total eclipse over there. But you might need to get that ticket and leave
quickly.
soon.
like yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
So the dry conditions, we're very dry, and it's actually quite dry. There are no states that are drought free. Every state's got some sort of drought condition. Most of them have more than we do, or worse conditions. There are a few that don't have quite as much as we do, but it is dry out there.
That's because we had a wet spring, pretty much.
Yeah, but it wasn't too. I mean, we had moisture, but we really had just enough moisture to make that surface, those couple of surface levels of soil moist. Down deep, we were dry. If you remember, we were in a drought condition for 3 years solid, and we just have not caught up yet with that deep soil moisture.
Right.
So it, do rain dances as much as you can. We need rain. We could use a good week if the forecast is true, and we have that chance of maybe some scattered showers, and we maybe get some drizzle and mist and rain every day this next week. That would help tremendously. The plants would be happy. Right. I'm sure the animals would be happy because the animals are starting to look for water too. Yeah. I noticed the water levels in the streams near me and some of the ponds are pretty well dried up again. And the Portage River just near my house is way down. About the lowest I've seen it in 30 years.
Really?
So it is very, very low.
You're kidding me. The infamous Portage River, which years ago would always have a flood advisory.
Yeah, actually,
same one.
The same one, and that monitoring station is within a mile of my house, where they typically monitor that. One of the monitoring stations, and that is way down. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of water taken out by farmers for irrigation, but there's not too much upstream from where I'm looking at it, and the water level is just way down, and it's gone down rapidly because we've had some rains. And it comes up for a short time, but it goes back down, and it keeps going down lower and lower. And I'm seeing a lot of river bottom on the banks.
Oh, that's not good.
Not good.
No.
We need rain.
Yeah, we do. So, okay, producer Steve is here, and we need to put him to work at 269.
Yeah, this might take a while, too, because...
Oh, my God.
I'm making everybody work. I was off last week. They listened to some Christmas forecast and a little cooler weather last week. It was maybe make the weather feel better for you, but that archived show.
269-382-4280. This could be an adventure. It's Gary's Nature Watch Trivia. And first correct caller will score a gift card worth $20 to Waddell's. Actually, it's a gift certificate. We're old school. Yeah.
So this might be pretty easy because actually there's multiple answers here, and I will accept any of those answers. This last week, and actually about last week or so, just a little more than a week, there have been several animal species that are native to Michigan that were mentioned in the news. And they include, I'm going to give you some hints here. They include one bird, one reptile, one mammal, and two fish. And so my question today is, name one of those species.
Oh, okay.
Pretty easy, I think. People have been paying any kind of attention to the news and paying attention to some of the news releases from some state agencies. They might have actually seen this. Name us one of the native Michigan species, animal species, that were in the news in the last week or so. And it's either a bird, a reptile, a mammal, or one of the two fish. All I need is one of them.
Just name one of them.
Name one of them.
You have 5 options.
Yeah, I have 5 options. I think this should be pretty quick, but then again, maybe not. We'll see.
Oh, my goodness. All right, 269-382-4280. If you know, give Steve a call. He'll put you on hold and send you our way.
Yeah, his fingers are itching to answer that phone.
Well, you can talk to Judy to start with. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Judy.
So in the news, it talked about a Massasauga snake bit somebody.
That is one of them, yes. So that's my reptile, a Massasauga rattlesnake. So we have a winner. That was
all right.
So Judy was paying attention to all the news this week.
I'm waiting for the others.
So the bird was the piping plover. And actually, I'll talk about each of these a little bit because there were some news releases from the DNR and the from Eagle. The gray wolf.
Okay.
And then the two fish were the lake whitefish and the lake sturgeon.
Oh.
And they were all in the news for some neat, interesting facts about them.
And I'm sure you're going to explain those facts in a moment.
I am.
Okay. Well, first of all, Judy.
Yes.
Hi, you're our winner. I'm going to send you over to Steve. He's going to get some information from you, okay?
Thank you, guys.
You betcha.
Thank you, Judy.
Thanks, Judy. Hang on the line right there. Steve will take care of everything that he needs to take care of over there. We are going to take care of stuff over here. Be back in about 70 seconds with more Nature Watch on WKZO.
Waddell's big Root and Rummage sale is where you'll find some of the best deals of the year while supplies last. Browse the clearance sections in Waddell's floral department, the sales floor, in the nursery, the stone quarry, and the birding department. There are lots of items at huge savings. Get the 25-pound bag of black oil sunflower seed on sale for $16.98. Seed bells are just $6. Now's your chance to get a great deal on outdoor furniture. Most styles of benches, chairs, and sets are 35% off. Save $4 on each bag of Milorganite. It's just $13.98 per bag. Save $14 on the 10-pack of rubber edging to make a nice, neat edge around trees and garden plantings. Tomato cages are 30% off. Find other amazing deals on Moss Max, Grub X, Garden Decor, Scratch and Dents, Overstocks, and so much more. It's the Root and Rummage sale at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center on Texas Drive at the corner of Millam and 12th Street. Hurry in! Sale prices end this Wednesday.
I like local news because I like to be involved in my community.
More Kalamazoo area news online than ever before at WKZO.com.
14 in front of 9. It's Jim and Gary. It's Nature Watch.
And I have animal facts here.
I see. We promised what we talked about.
Yes. So actually, the Massasauga rattlesnake, the DNR put out a news release this week because a little earlier this summer, last month, there was a gentleman that was bitten by a Massasauga rattlesnake over in Oakland County.
Oh.
And apparently, there's been lots of posts that people are going to go out and hunt them down, etc. And the DNR's news release basically said, because they are listed as a state and federally threatened species, it is illegal to pursue, harass, wound, kill, or capture the snake. A person found liable of violating the Endangered Species Act could be sentenced up to 1 year in prison and a fine of $50,000. And so they were they're very shy snakes. Typically, if they try to avoid humans, if you happen to see one, they're probably going to try to hide. Just walk around them. Stay with at least 3 feet or more away from them. That's out of their strike zone.
Right.
And they a lot of times do dry bites, so they don't even release any venom. And their venom isn't as strong as most of the other rattlesnakes. So.
That sounded like drive-by.
Yeah, sort of like a drive-by. And they're I've seen them a couple times. That actually both times I've seen them out in the wild, they had been deceased. And they were smaller snakes. They can get up to about 2.5 feet long.
Okay.
But they're not usually in wet areas. They like those wet, swampy areas. But if you happen to see them, help protect them because they are threatened. On the wolves, the wolf population is up considerably. And for the first time in a very long time, I think they're going back to almost 100 years ago. There are lots of wolves actually, and that they're doing with their trail cams. They do sort of computer models and sort of estimate population by activity they see by the trail cams. So the gray wolf population is up, which might help with the excessive deer and rabbit population we have now. That's part of that balance of nature.
Right.
The piping plover, that was the bird. So the wolf was the mammal. The piping plover, they have had some fantastic news. Just a little over a week ago, they released that this season they had 99 pairs that nested, which is 11 more than last year, which was a record since they've been trying to protect that. This year so far they've fledged 155 wild chicks, which is another record. The previous record was 150 in 2022. And they still have about 12 fledglings out there to possibly fledge. So all that protection over along the lake shore for those piping plovers is paying off. We need to keep getting that population up. The fish, these lake whitefish, they're actually seeing the lake whitefish population decrease pretty rapidly because of the quagga mussel, which is a shellfish that is invasive. And the quagga mussel, which is actually smaller a little bit bigger than the zebra mussel, but they occupy deep areas and usually rocky habitat, and they clean the water up. They clean the water up too good for those little small lake whitefish fry in that they would feed on that algae, and the mussels are cleaning the water too clean, and those young fish have nothing to eat or very little to eat. So the population is way down, and so they've been trying to monitor those populations of the quagga mussel to try to control that and maybe get the whitefish population back up. Need to have that. Good smoked whitefish is hard to beat.
Right.
And then the sturgeon, last but not least, they have done quite a few measurements in that, and have been monitoring the sturgeon. They've always been sort of not quite sure how long sturgeon lived. They knew they usually lived for a long time, but they're not sure quite how long they live. And typically, they figured they live to be about 150 years old, about max. They are upping that because based on when they do surveys and they actually find fish and they tag them, and sometimes they refine the fish, and they measure how big they've grown since the last time they were measured. And the longevity now range, because they base it on how much growth they do per year and sort of do some computer models. Longevity ranges from 90 to 279 years for the males and 99 to 427 years for the females. So we were way off from what we originally estimated. Now, that's obviously based on what they've observed so far. That might be off a little bit, but obviously they're living much longer than we anticipated. And there are species that have been around for a long time, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of years. Wow. So they're sort of an ancient fish. So that's also important to protect them. And then a couple other things in the news. It was actually end of last week. Invasive mile-a-minute weed was discovered and confirmed in Jackson County. So
I saw that. Yeah.
And mile-a-minute weed is very invasive. It can choke out trees. It grows very, very rapidly, thus its name.
Was it like 6 inches a day, I think?
Yes, they can. Yeah. And so the little bit of spot in Calhoun County that they've been trying to control through the BCK, the Berry, Calhoun, Kalamazoo County Invasive Species Management Area, which is through the soil conservation districts. And they've been trying to control that. This is about a mile or two away from where they had seen the population of invasive mile-a-minute weed in Calhoun County, so it's just across the county line. And so the SISMA that covers Jackson County is going to be aggressively attacking that too. Keep an eye out for mile-a-minute weed and any of those other invasive species. If you're not sure what they look like, go to the either MISIN, MISIN website, Michigan Invasive Species, actually Midwest Invasive Species Investigative Network, something like that. MISIN, going off of memory here. But check those out. They have photos, and then or you can go to the DNR. DNR has links to the invasive species. They have photos on there. They have lookalikes, so sometimes you can find lookalikes.
Oh, I think I almost found it.
Jim's fingers were too fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'll find it.
So actually coming up this next week, next Wednesday, Kalamazoo Bird Sanctuary has another of their wonderful birds and coffee online chats. That's from 10 to 11 via Zoom. You can register ahead of time, and there's no fee for that. They're going to be talking about nectar feeders, and Lisa Duke, the Kellogg Bird Sanctuary manager, is going to be talking about those nectar feeders. So obviously the hummingbird is one of them, but I'm sure there's a few other birds too.
Oh, by the way, I did find that site. It is misin.msu.edu.
Yeah, so it's actually through the MSU website.
Right.
But it is part of the they actually monitor those. There's actually an app, the MISIN app, that you can get, and you can report if you find some invasive species. So make sure you're educated, know what they look like from those lookalike photos. So you know exactly, or if you're not sure, and gosh, I really think this is an invasive species, report it. They will send out somebody, or they'll look at the photos and confirm, or one way or another. And you can put a location in there, and that's actually a good way to help be a citizen scientist and help maybe try to control some of those invasive species. Yeah. Next Saturday, from 10 to 11, the Kellogg Bird Sanctuary is doing another of their behind the scenes with raptors. So you need to register ahead of time. Oh, actually, no registration ahead required, but there is a fee for that. And so go to their website and check that out. You actually get to up close and look at some of the raptors that they've rescued and how they train and use those for being ambassadors for some of the raptor population.
Okay.
And then next Sunday, the 16th, Kalamazoo Nature Center has a guided butterfly walk. And that's from 1 to 3 Sunday afternoon. They'll be walking through the Emma Pitcher Prairie. And it's for all ages. However, they asked that participants younger than 14 must have an adult require that have an adult to accompany them.
Okay.
So some neat things coming up. I ran across this a couple of weeks ago, and actually I didn't have a chance to get to it. There was a little Science News article. A cemetery it actually came out of Cornell University, a cemetery in Ithaca, and near one of the cemeteries there, which was actually somebody reported this that works at the Cornell University entomology lab, saw some bees coming out of the ground. And they did some investigation, and the bee is a very common one, Andrena regularis. Sounds pretty common. So it's commonly called the regular mining bee. So it's a wild bee, native wild bee that nests underground, and typically is sort of solitary. But this population, there's a big colony of them there, and they are estimating that there's about 5.5 million bees in this colony, in this cemetery.
Wow.
So that'd be sort of interesting, walking by at night and hearing a buzz coming out of the cemetery. Like a little eerie, especially with that full moon or something. I thought it was pretty neat because one of the native species, and they had this huge colony, and it's right, sort of at their back door, and they hadn't even seen it before. So
I'll tell you what, when you mow over a nest of ground bees, it's not an exciting adventure. Trust me, I did that many years ago.
Yeah, so most of the what people commonly call ground bees are actually yellow jackets, and they're in that hornet family. And that's how I discovered I was very deathly allergic to all those species.
Yeah.
They are not fun. They hurt, and they sting multiple times, whereas a honeybee can only sting once. And it still hurts, but not near as bad. And the difficulty, I always tell people, the difficulty with especially those yellow jackets, if you start getting stung, it feels like somebody's taking a needle and stabbing you. And human reaction is to brush it off because it hurts so darn bad. If, and the very operative word is if, and I don't know of anybody that can because it hurts so darn bad, if you could withstand getting stung, 5, 10, 15 times and walk away very slowly, that's probably all you're going to get stung. But because it hurts so darn bad, we brush them off, and when we brush them off, they release pheromones and attracts all the rest of them. And so they attack you.
We can't win there.
No. This time of year, the populations in those ground nests of yellow jackets, the population is way up. Some of those nests may have 10 to 15,000 yellow jackets in them. Those are the 5 common species of yellow jackets in Michigan. Some of the biggest colonies are that 10 to 15. Most of them are in that 3 to 5,000. Sometimes a few less. But all it takes is 100 or 2. And if you're allergic, better have your EpiPen ready.
Yeah, exactly.
So DNR actually was looking for some citizen scientists, and so check their website out to help tracking turkeys, bats, and foxes. And so wild turkey population, if you've seen those young turkeys out, they're doing sort of a brood survey through the end of the month. Check that out. Bats, any bat roosting, so summer roosting locations, report those again through the end of the month. And they're actually looking for information of people citing the second fox species that's in Michigan. So we're commonly know the red fox. There's also a gray fox species here.
Oh, really?
Very uncommon.
Okay.
And so if you happen to see them, they're asking that you report them because they're trying to determine what kind of population we have. Give me a little citizen scientist when you're out and about and when you're not swatting mosquitoes and trying to keep the sunscreen on, or I don't think you'd be dodging raindrops. So
or dodging the mad hornets or whatever.
Yeah. But keep your eyes out on that. Look, I really encourage people to know what those invasive species look like because we all have to work together to try to keep those under control.
Yeah.
I see the tree of heaven is starting to bloom now, which is the main tree for the spotted lanternfly. And so you can really see those trees. So if you see those and they're on your property, remove them. And there's some guidelines with the DNR and the invasive species on how to control that because it takes quite an effort to get rid of that plant.
Right. There you go. All right, Gary, thank you. And you're obviously heading into work.
Yes, I am, and it looks like it might be a little cooler today, a little more comfortable, which is nice. It got quite humid yesterday afternoon.
Oh, it's just a little sticky, but there
Yes.
you go. All right, thank you, Gary, and thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday at 8:30 for Nature Watch. Brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. National and local news up next, and Over the Garden Fence on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.